Good afternoon, everybody. I am Creta McCullough. I am the founder of Visionary Vibe Solutions, and I help businesses to make sure that their messaging is easier for their customers to understand. And then I also add AI to help them do those things faster. Okay. So today we're really just dealing with one question. How do you attract more customers without adding more chaos to your week? And I learn practically. So I need to see things, feel things, and do things. So that's the way that I teach. So by the end of this, you'll have access to like just a simple 30-day marketing process. You'll have some AI prompts, I believe, that are in there. And just a clearer way to use AI for the work that you already need to do. So before I get started, how many of you have actually not used AI yet? Okay, good. That's what I wanted to know. All right. How many of you have opened any AI tool? I try not to be biased, but I do have a favorite, so I'm gonna try not to say it. Um, have you opened an AI tool and you stared at the box thinking like, what am I supposed to type here to help me with anything? Right? Y'all haven't? Y'all can talk back to me like, I mean, I don't, from a Baptist church, I'd like, call and response. So don't just look at me, please talk to me. Okay. So, nevertheless, you're in the right room. So, I want to start with the pressure that small business owners are already dealing with, and that is marketing asking too many questions. Okay. So, small business marketing, I like to say it has a lot of nerve. Um, it wants your website updated, right? You have to be on all the socials, not really, but they say be on all the socials. You have to have an email list. You have to have events that you promote, right? And you also have to serve your customers, right? Because that's how you make your money. You have to manage your business, right? You have to put out the little fires here and there, and again, try to make money. So to me, that's the tension. And marketing matters, but the work that pays the bills is what's really sitting in front of you, right? And a useful AI workflow, it shouldn't just answer questions like help me with this content, right? It should reduce the time. They say AI is supposed to be helping us save time, right? It should reduce the time spent figuring out what our next move should be as it relates to marketing. And it should also help us make a decision and get the work moving around the messaging of our business that fits. So I talk a lot about messaging because I see a lot of businesses just marketing, 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 marketing. And it's like, okay, cool, you're marketing, but what is the message? What is the messaging? Like, what are you saying to reach your target audience? If that's confusing, then any marketing around that is going to be confusing too. Okay. So today's process, it just respects your real capacity, right? Because I don't have time to be posting on social media all day and sending emails all day. I don't have time for that. So I want to build around time, budget, team, and the workload that you actually have. Okay. So before any tool helps with marketing, again, and I'm going to talk about messaging all day because that's my expertise. The message underneath the marketing is what needs attention. I should have had my son in here to help me with this. So when marketing feels slow, the first reaction is to do what? Do more. Right. Do more marketing, right? Do more activity, do more of something, right? Another post, another promotion, buy a Facebook ad, buy a Google ad, buy something, right? But like I was kind of saying earlier, more activity gives your current messaging just a bigger audience because you're just marketing to a bigger audience. And that's great when people understand the value and understand your value proposition and understand your messaging. But if it's fuzzy, it's going to get a fuzzy Your audience is gonna be fuzzy with the bigger audience. That's what I'm trying to say. And then the confusion, it grows right along with that reach. So, for example, a coffee shop, it can promote a special, right? And still leave people wondering, like, why should I even go over there, right? I don't know them. I know Starbucks. I know all these other ones, but why should I go over there, right? Product and service businesses, they face the same issue usually when traffic or engagement rates, or I'm sorry, engagement rises, while the value and timing still is kind of fuzzy. Okay. So some of y'all have probably already done this, but put an unclear messaging under a full content calendar. How many of y'all have a content calendar, by the way, or even on social media? Okay, good to know. Good to know. So when the messaging is fuzzy, the schedule is about to be working overtime. Okay. So the first question is simple, really. Like, when people see your marketing, can they tell why your business matters to them right now? Not tomorrow, not last week, but right now. Okay. All right. The fun stuff. So AI is a megaphone. Sorry. Put my notes together here. Maybe. All right. AI is a megaphone. Was I too loud there? Okay. So AI works with the direction that you provide, period. Right? It's going to gaslight you. It's going to agree with everything you say. And that's just how it is, you know. So you have to be really specific in your prompting. So it uses your context and it follows your instructions to build on whatever is available. So think about this broad request, right? So a broad request, how many of you have said, write a post for my business? Yeah. So the tool has to guess who the post is for and what would, oh, wait, did you do that? I did that. Testing 1 2, microphone check. All right. All right. So the tool has to guess who the post is for and what would make that visit even feel worth it, right? So look at a more useful direction, okay? So if you have a coffee shop here in Lakewood, you're going to tell it to reach Lakewood commuters before they go to work. So that gives it a customer, gives it a location, it gives it a moment, and it gives it a purpose, okay? So the second request, it gives the tool something real to work with. And then the writing can focus on speed, right? People like to get their coffee fast because they're on the way to work. Morning routines, right? Parking, pre-ordering, or whatever the business knows that matters to these customers, okay? So clear direction makes AI more useful. Can y'all say that with me? Clear direction makes AI more useful. All right. The business owner still decides, though, which idea fits the customer and the business, okay? Useful direction begins with the customer situation. All right. So you want to recognize, customers recognize situations first. So you want to understand that, right? So customers start looking for your business when something has changed. Not necessarily a pain point. Not that I'm against pain point marketing. But I think what happens with pain point marketing is that people are like, oh, well, what pain are they in? And I'm like, well, unless you're a trauma center, they might not even be in pain. It may be a desire that they have. It just might be something that they want. When I go to the Nike store, I know I like Nikes. I'm not just you know what I mean? I love Nikes. I'm not in pain when I'm going to the Nike store. Okay. So customers usually start looking because something has changed. So a barbershop customer, right? So a barbershop customer has an interview next week. So then the appointment suddenly matters because the customer wants to look good, right? They want to look prepared when they walk in. So for a massage practice, though, right? The tension has started affecting, maybe they have tension in their neck, and it started affecting their work. It started affecting their sleep, okay? So the situation gives the service more urgency, okay? A business owner might call a CFO advisor after the spreadsheet stops giving a clear view of cash flow, all right? And growth created a new problem, and that old setup just can't help it anymore. So the old setup is reached its limit. So those situations, they help marketing feel recognizable, okay? So for the massage therapy, saying we offer massage therapy, that's great, right? It describes the service. But saying something like your neck tension is keeping you awake and making work harder, that gives the customer a moment that they can specifically identify. Okay? Does that make sense? Cool. All right, so think about your own business. What is happening when someone starts looking for your business? Joy. What? What's happening when someone starts to look for your business? Are you a business owner, first of all? Okay. Oh.
I own an improv theater, so we also have a training center. So there's two reasons why people look for us. They're either looking for entertainment, or they're looking to either find friends, or look for public speaking skills, or kind of just get out of their comfort zone. So those are like, you're doing great. So there's a lot of reasons why people look for a class. Like oftentimes it is that like comfort zone thing of like, what can I do to take a step out of my comfort zone and try something new? So I think that's the interesting thing to tap into with me. When you asked that question, I kind of closed my eyes and I was like, why do people look to take an improv class? Because we have a free class just so people can try it out. Yeah.
Thank you, Joy. Y'all give Joy a hand for even like volunteering. So her answer, what she just said, that belongs in her marketing. That is what should be in your emails. That's what should be on social media. That is what should be everywhere as it relates to your business. Same for everybody else. So always think about your own business. Think about what's happening to the customer when they start looking for you. Okay? All right. So your customers have already given you the research. A lot of it is just sitting in your business, right? Google reviews, booking questions, any sales notes if you take discovery calls, email replies, right? That shows you what people care about in their language, the way they say it. I know a lot of times we like to sound, I don't want to say professional, but we like to sound a different way. We maybe want to, speak in corporate speak, right? But is your audience speaking that way when they talk about their problems? Nah, right? So you want to make sure you understand what they care about in their language. Any intake forms, any direct messages, all of that, it can reveal the concern that made them reach out, period. Okay? So what I would say here is look for repeated situations, look for exact phrases, look for common concerns, and the reason that somebody finally decided to act. So maybe you ask your customer, like, what made you come to see me? What made you follow up with my business? Okay. So what AI can do, though, is AI can help organize all of that material. So you can paste in a group of comments into the tool and say, group the repeated situations, concerns, phrases, and decision triggers. Okay, decision triggers are big. Keep the original wording where possible. I wouldn't even say where possible. I would just say keep the original wording, because I want to know what the customer specifically said or what they're specifically saying, and I want that pattern. Okay, so the tool groups the evidence And your judgment is what decides which pattern actually matters and how it affects your offer and how it connects to your offer. Okay. So this step, it keeps marketing connected to real customers instead of whatever sounded cool to you. Okay. Or whatever sounded clever. Because, you know, we always want to sound clever, right?
Y'all could talk.
Yes, no, maybe so. All right. Thank you. So, the first thing I want to talk about around this is called a brand brief. Brand brief. Okay. So, a brand brief is information that the AI tool would need before it started helping you with marketing or anything. Okay. So, it answers 5 questions. What do you sell? Who needs it? What offers matter right now? Where do you reach people? And what results are you trying to create? Okay. So you want to save those answers in a document. I have mine in a Google folder. Like I have a Google folder filled with a gang of stuff, right? So you want to save that to a Google Doc in your Google folder. Keep it easy to find. Okay. When you open an AI conversation for marketing, upload your brand brief in there, paste it in there, whatever is convenient. Some AI tools will allow you to put it in personalization. Okay. Some AI tools have projects that you can put that information in. Okay. So what happens here is this stops you from rebuilding your business background every single time. Okay. It also reduces random output. Notice I said reduce. I did not say stop. Because all AI tools will hallucinate on you, period. None of it is perfect. I don't care what anybody says. Okay? So it will reduce the random output because the tool now has a clearer picture of who your customer is, what your offer is, the channels that they are, where they are, and your goal. Okay? Your brand brief can be short. I am a detail-oriented person. It can be, I want to give the AI tool as much information as I possibly can to be able to help me. Okay. So it's totally up to you and how you use your AI tool. Okay. But you want to just make sure everything is updated always. Make sure that you update your current offer and that you update whatever the 30-day goal is as your business changes. Okay. So think of it as the briefing you would give a new marketing assistant, right? Maybe you have a brand guide, a brand strategy guide. Maybe you have a brand messaging guide, okay? So just think of that type of thing. And if you have one, that's a great thing to put into your AI tool. If you have like a brand strategy guide with all of your differentiators and value props and all of those different things, that's a perfect thing to upload into your AI tool, okay? So with this background in place, then the next step is giving AI an assignment. All right. So in giving AI an assignment, I came up with the framework CRAFT. I need a little water. So CRAFT stands for context, role, action, format, tone, and that's it. I was going to say and ask, but that would be CRAFTA. So with your context, you want to make sure it knows, again, who your business is. That's the business brief, pretty much. But you also want to let it know what your goal is, okay? The role would be you are a marketing strategist, right? Like the point of view needed for this task, whatever specific task, right? You're my customer. Act as my customer, those types of things, okay? And then the action is the exact work, not vague, the exact work that you want completed, okay? Excuse me. And then format. Do you want it in a table? Do you want it in an email? Do you want a plan? Do you like bullet points? What do you like, okay? And then tone. Are you a positive person? Are you warm? Are you direct? Do you cuss? Like, all of these different things. And I said that because some people do. in their marketing. And if that's what their customers like, have at it, right? But you just really want to be as specific as possible. And what I like to say is after all of that, you want to ask what AI needs. So anytime I am asking any AI tool a question, I'm like, oh, please ask me clarifying questions to be able to help you, help me. Okay? So just a quick example I have here is create a 4-week plan to increase weekday foot traffic. Of course, I could have gotten deeper, but we don't have a whole lot of time for deep. All right. So what I want you to do right now in your mind, you can write it down, is think about one goal that you have for your business, one marketing goal. Okay. So one goal gives your plan a finish line. Okay. So I'm going to use this event for an example. The example goal is increasing attendance at one event within 30 days. Okay. So the marketing has a specific result and it has a clear deadline, right? I want to increase in attendance and I need it for 30 days, within 30 days. Okay. So your business might focus on foot traffic, bookings, sales, email growth, whatever it is. Okay. So you want to choose the result that connects most directly to revenue or even a customer relationship. It might not even always be revenue, right? Yeah, that's the ultimate goal in business, is to make money, but you also do want to build business relationships, right? Yeah. So which one result would make the next 30 days feel successful for your business? What's your name? Yeah, Tammy.
More appointments. Yep. We're realtors. Residential. We want more appointments, talk to more people about buying and selling.
Thank you. Anybody else want to talk on the microphone? Melissa.
I actually work for a nonprofit, and so we want to build awareness, but also find businesses and corporate sponsors, and build partners.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you very much. I'll give them a hand real quick because I like to acknowledge folks. Okay. So those are the types of questions that you build around when you're working on your marketing goals. Okay. Like I was saying, a goal is going to give you the destination, and the strategy is going to decide how the business is going to move toward it. So we're going to turn that one goal into a strategy, and I'm going to show you how. Maggie, are they going to get a copy of this? Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. So a strategy answers for practical questions. Who needs this now? That is so important, right? What should they buy? What should they choose? Where will they see it? What platform? Okay. What rhythm can the business sustain? Remember, I was talking about capacity earlier? This is what I'm talking about. What rhythm can you sustain in your business? So going back to this event, right? The audience is local business owners who want practical AI and marketing help, right? That's what y'all want? Yes? Talk to me, please. Thank you. So I'm just going to say here the offer is free lunch. It is education. It is expertise, right? So email invitations, partner sharing, social content, and the event page are useful channels for that specific offer, if you will. Okay. But the rhythm is it has to fit the team and the time available before the event. Okay. So the same thinking, it works for your business. The massage practice, right, might focus on clients dealing with work-related tension. So maybe you promote one appointment type. You use email and the Google Business Profile, and then you commit to one useful piece of messaging each week. Okay? So, a plan that ignores time, budget, team, workload, all of that is just fantasy attached to a calendar. How many of y'all had, you said you had a content calendar. How many of y'all go by it strictly? Oh, shucks. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. That's great because I don't. I have a content calendar every single week, and I find myself falling off some way, somehow. Okay, and it's because I'm just so excited when I get this plan, right? Because AI is like, yeah, you can do this and this and this. And I'm like, yeah, I can. And then I go into it and I'm like, I can't. I don't have time for this. Right? So you want to tell your AI to keep the plan realistic for your specific capacity. Okay? Then review every recommendation before it reaches a customer. All right? So now we need to match the marketing to the stage of the customer's decision. Oh, and I have a prompt here that you can use. Like Megan said, you're going to get this presentation, so you'll have the prompts. And then I also have a worksheet that you can download as well. So customers move through different stages, right, before they act upon anything, right? We're customers, we do that. The process starts with awareness and it moves into consideration before the decision. So your customers notice your business, they begin evaluating the fit, and then a clear next step helps them act. So for a storefront, local search, social media reviews and content is what creates the awareness. Okay, reviews and the visit experience is what helps somebody evaluate the fit, and then maybe a first time visit offer is what would support said action. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna just say this: if you have a business of any kind, brick and mortar, online, service provider, you should be on some form of social media. I'm not saying to post every day or anything like that, but if you have an online business and an online way for people to get to you, you have to be online to make people aware of your business so they can consider you and then decide to make a decision to work with you. Okay? So this particular table, it actually helps you stop asking one piece of marketing to do every job, right? Like, you don't need a piece of marketing that's gonna make people aware, have them consider you, and then give them the decision, right? Especially if you were like, I don't want to say a newer business, but maybe newer to creating content marketing. You know, you don't want to put all of that in one piece of post necessarily. Okay, so you want to make sure whatever messaging that you have, you want to match the messaging to the stage and then make whatever next step obvious. Okay. I went to a hairdresser a while ago, and she wanted me to call her first to make the appointment. When I called her, she said, "Can you go online to schedule?" I was like, "Well, I'm calling you. Like, can you just put me in?" "No, I do everything online." "Well, why don't you say that in your marketing?" Okay. You know, needless to say, I didn't go see her. I went to see somebody else because I had to do too much. You know, no, it wasn't a lot for me to just go online and do it, but it's like, come on, man. Like, if I'm calling you, I'm on the phone with you, you can put that in, right? So make it easy for your people to get to you, okay? So the buying stages, it can just really become a monthly rhythm. And this next piece, so it can give you just a week, right? And I have awareness, education, social proof, and conversion. However, you can mix these up in the week. This is more for like, beginner businesses who may not be online. They may be brick and mortar and just starting to do content marketing. But, you want to make posts that create awareness. Excuse me. You want to educate your people. You always have to have social proof, because I am not going to give anybody $500 and not know that they can do what I need them to do. Okay? And then conversion. Give them a clear next step. So this is the example that I have here, right? There's an event announcement. I would answer one guest question, share a customer photo or review, and then post the reservation details. Okay? So I want to put this process into a brick and mortar example. So if you have a coffee shop, yep, I'm on a coffee shop. Say the goal is weekday foot traffic. Okay? So the business chooses one weekday promotion, one local partnership, and it also strengthens the business, the Google business profile, and it sets a consistent review request process. Okay? What AI can do here is it can help you generate realistic options when the request includes useful details. Okay? So this particular prompt on the slide, it gives the business location, and it gives it a 60-day goal. Okay? So it also defines the type of ideas that a person would need. Okay? And then you'd upload your budget, your busiest days, team size, and customer habits to be able to get that information from the AI tool. Okay? So any good marketing, it fits the customer and the business. Okay? So for service-based businesses, you can kind of have the same process, right? And you might get an appointment question, right? Joy, do you get appointment questions or first time questions, inquiries, and things like that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what you could do with that is take that, right? And you can create content around it. Okay? It's a helpful, you're giving a helpful response. So you're giving them a helpful response, and what you're doing is taking that question that they've asked, and created content for it. So now, not only do you have a social post, you have an email, you can even do a video. Okay? So see how that one question, that's 3 pieces of content right there that you could just put out right there. You don't have to schedule it. You don't have to put it in a planner. It's right there for you. You can just do it right there. Okay? So what AI can do is, where'd it go? There we go. AI can also help you with that if you give it the writing rules, right? AI uses a lot of parallels. AI uses not this, but this. Not X, but Y. And if you don't speak like that and you're creating content like that, your people are going to be like, what? That's not them. Okay? So automation, right? And when I say automation, I'm thinking about service-based businesses again. They can send reminders of the time that they've scheduled, right? Service-based business, am I telling the truth? All right. And then the business owner can review the messages and make sure that whatever it sends out, it sounds human, okay? Doesn't have that anaphora that AI tools tend to give. okay, while still giving the customer accurate information. So the bottom line is that you want the goal to be a smoother experience, because nobody wants to feel like they've asked a question and gotten a vending machine response. Okay, so a simple workflow works best with a simple tool stack. Any questions before I move to this tool stack? Am I helping y'all? Cool. All right, so you want to keep that AI stack lean, okay? Keep it small. Use the chat tool that you've already been using. I'm not about to tell you to go buy this, do that. I'm not doing that. That is not me. Use that for planning. Use that for drafting. Any graphics can stay in your current design tool. From a person who has a degree in graphic design, please, if you decide to use AI to create your graphics, make sure you give it a direction. Don't just give it the date, the time, and all of that. Give it, here's my fonts. These are my brand fonts. These are my brand colors. Give it numbers. Don't say my brand colors are purple and orange. Give it the number, okay? Tell it what not to do, right? It likes to add script and all of that kind of stuff. So just be real specific. I just had to throw that out there because these AI flyers are driving me up the wall. Okay. All right. Yes. Oh my goodness. So publishing and follow-up that you have, it can remain in your email platforms or any type of scheduler that you already use. And that setup honestly may be enough for now. What happens with a paid tool is it earns its keep when one repeated task keeps eating up your time or falling through the cracks. So the bottleneck is what chooses the tool. A design problem, of course, points to a better design process. And then missed follow-up points towards scheduling or email support, right? What? Okay. I'm sorry. Something jumped off the page at me. Okay, and I wanted to make sure I made that point. All right. So going back to the stack, my apologies. Because subscriptions love to multiply, right? You'll get a free trial and then you forget. So I like to say use the free until you can't use it anymore. Then decide again, like I said, will this be helpful? Is this something that I'm going to continue to do? And then decide. So my AI stack is I use Perplexity AI for research. I use ChatGPT for strategy, and I use Claude to help me with copy. What I do not do is copy straight out of AI into any type of content or email or anything like that. I am always going to read it. It is never, to me, it's never 100%. I always have to go in and change a little something. So people who are saying it's just going to come right out and it's going to be great. And it's not always like that, y'all. Really. Say that one more time.
What do you think about Grok?
I have not used it, but I do have a lot of colleagues who use it, and they like it. They like it. What I will say about most of the AI tools is that they pretty much almost always all do the same thing. Okay. Because I can go to ChatGPT and do research if I wanted to, but my brand loyalty is with Perplexity because when my son has some special needs. So when I was going through all of that, trying to get letters written. Oh, I'm sorry. Trying to get letters written to the school and get his IEP work and all of that stuff done. That is what helped me get that information. That is what helped me get the services that my son needs. So I have a brand loyalty, if you will, to Perplexity. So it all depends on, what you want to use it for. You can test, try all of those things, and test, try the free versions. I always say the free versions, and then go into like the paid ones. Did I answer your question, cool? Yay, nay?
Like besides Chat GPT, like how many Chat GPTs are out there?
1 million. It is a lot of AI tools out there.
I know you could go on your answer from Quince and have an AI chat, right, instead of a real person typing out your answer. So that's AI. But I'm as a generalist, other than Chat GPI or Claude or Grok or Perplexity.
Yes, Gemini. I like Gemini for research sometimes because it's Google. Yeah, it's Google, and it makes pretty pictures.
Thank you for this so far. So what you said with the AI tools is exactly how I use them. ChatGPT for the idea, and then Claude for writing, and then the other one, Perplexity for, and then, so you hit it right on the head. That's exactly what and I use AI and do marketing, so kind of not an expert, or maybe I am an expert, but, and they're growing and changing so fast. I mean, it's just the beginning, and who knows what it's going to be like in a year or half a year from now. So
What do you do, Ryan?
I do marketing, websites and social media, and I've been getting into using Claude to build websites. And so that's why I joined this, because it's right up that alley, and you're doing a great job so far.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank y'all for talking. Let's give them a hand. I like to clap. Any questions so far, though? I'm going to keep going. Yay, nay, maybe yay. All right. Up. You need the mic.
So since he mentioned, no, it doesn't work.
Uh-oh, did I press it on accident?
It's on? Okay. Since he mentioned he uses Claude to build websites, I wanted to know if that's your recommendation for websites too, or because I know there's a new one called design.com. I want to know if anybody has well, I don't know. That's why I'm here. So I'd love to hear your recommendation or his recommendation on which platform is the best for building websites now.
Thank you for that. So I like a platform called Lovable for websites. However, Claude does build really good websites. There is one called Base 44 that also builds websites. You can, well, no, I'm not going to say that. You could create, I've never used design.com. So remember when I was saying it's like 1 million AI tools out there. So if you did a Google search on AI tools to help me create a website, you're going to get a list of a bunch of them. So, but like I said, for me, I like Lovable. Ryan uses Claude, but he's a web designer. I'm not a web designer. Excuse me. Right. You still need the.
What I've been learning lately is Wix, Squarespace, and all those things are going to be gone in a year, because there's Lovable. There's another one called Replit, and then and that's an AI website builder basically. And Claude can do it now. And then there's places you host it on your website. You just take the HTML code and host it on a platform specifically for HTML codes. No, I mean, the GoDaddy is one to host it. It starts with a V, and I can get it in a second. I forget the name of the hosting platform. But you build the website on Claude, and then you pay like $20. It's less expensive too than Wix and all this and Squarespace. So, right, and I'm on Squarespace, and I'm gonna get off Squarespace next month before my subscription renews because Claude, and then it's just less expensive, and it's easier to build websites on Claude and easier to edit, better looking, just everything. So that's why, you know, I'm within this program, and it's not just coming from me saying that Wix and all these will be gone, but I think, you know, with the AI, it's gonna change. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Just a little 2 cents. I used to use Squarespace, but it also depends on what you want your website platform to do. So, like, I now have a new platform that does my website, does my CRM, does my social media, does everything in one tool. So that's saved us money at a bunch of different product bases that we then had to try to kludge together to make a product. So it's helped a lot. It's based on Go High Level.
Okay.
So it's called Thrive.
Thank you. I like Go High Level as well. Anybody else? Questions, thoughts? All the things? Anything? You want me to get my steps in today?
Hey, we're always all day. Yeah. This has been a really great opportunity. I mean, something that we use a lot in our team is different AI things to just find businesses that have opportunities, and it never recommends chamber events, so I'm glad I'm here. Yeah, strangely enough. So prompt engineering became a job title for so many different organizations a few years ago, and this kind of stuff is why, because you have to be as specific as possible for how much information is out there. So I really love when you addressed brand briefs and messaging and making sure that you're inputting that correctly. Has there ever been any problems on your end in terms of the specificity that you're getting out of brand briefs for people that you're working with right now?
Not for me right now, because I've been doing it for so long, probably. So I've trained the tool, and even though I've trained the tool, I still want specifics. So like, I may upload a brand brief or upload a customer's brand brief, and I'm still like, you know, but she doesn't speak like this. So, you know, it's always something for me, and it could be my ADHD. I don't know, but I always want to make sure it's quote unquote perfect, even though it won't be. It can't be perfect. Okay. But yeah, prompting is probably like one of the biggest things that I would love for you guys to take away today. And that's that craft framework. Okay. All right. So, with all of that being said, let me see. Was it something else? No, that is all I had. So, you can scan this QR code, and I've created just a quick little 30-day, plan for you. You can type in it and all those things. So you want to pick your marketing goal that's connected to your revenue. Make sure you have your brand brief. Maybe I shouldn't even call it a brand brief. Maybe it should. If you have an established business, you probably have a whole brand strategy, right? Like the whole brand personality, differentiation, positioning, and all those things. Y'all have that in your business? Yeah. So you can probably just upload that. Ask the AI tool for 1 30-day plan, and always adjust the plan and review it weekly. Data is going to be your best friend here. Make sure it all fits into your actual capacity. Go off data and not feelings. Okay? And that's all I got for y'all. Any questions? I'm coming.
Are you available for this type of presentation beyond today?
Yes, 100%. This is my favorite thing to do. I love to teach. I love to talk about AI. I love to talk about messaging and marketing. Quick story about me. When I got my AI certification, I wasn't sure how I was going to use it. I was like, oh, I'm certified. Yay. I'm certified for me. What can I do for my clients? Like, it was a big thing. And then I came up with like frameworks and things like that to be able to help the marketing and the messaging and the use of AI tools in a practical way. Last question, says Maggie.
Thank you. This has been great. Do you have a perspective on using AI beyond content creation and idea generation, but for automating scheduling, automating email? Is that a good idea, a bad idea?
Good idea as long as the AI tool. Sorry. It's a good idea as long as the AI tool knows specifically what to do. ChatGPT has something called Work, and I didn't want to get too deep off into that because I didn't want to. But if you need me, I can help you with that. But ChatGPT has a new situation. It's called Work, and in Work, you can create those email automations. Some CRMs also have that. I think Go High Level. I know I use Go High Level, and Go High Level has that that function as well. So something really cool I did last week. I had like 14,000 emails in an old email, and I asked ChatGPT Work to go through, prioritize what you feel like I need to respond to ASAP as it related to my business and my offers, and it did just that. It cleaned it out. So, yeah. If I had time to show y'all that stuff, you would be like, oh my gosh. But yeah, Claude can do it too. Perplexity can do it as well. So, and I'm pretty sure Grok and Manus can do it as well. So. Gemini, I always forget about Gemini. I'm a Google girl. Yeah, Gemini can do it too. But yeah, you're right. Gemini can do it too. Thank you all very much.